sleepiest podcast. We ease you into a deep slumber. Put us on while you try and drift into the only place where you have any sort of escape from reality. That is bed. Hi, Jason. How are you?
Hello. I'm good, thank you, Rhath. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty sleepy myself, as indicated by the intro. We're joined by Thomas. How are you?
Hello, Thomas.
I
How are
think
you?
we're all a little sleepy today.
I think
Is it one of those days? It's been raining.
it's
it's been humid.
it's been hot at the start, which
Yeah.
just also after coming from like 12 degrees, 13 degree days last week, or not even last week, like a few days ago. It was
Yeah.
fucking cold as shit, and now it's hot as fuck.
And it's going to be colder tomorrow, then hotter again.
It's a roller coaster
Just a
here
roller
in Melbourne
coaster
town,
of,
aka Nam.
It's classic
what's
Melbourne.
the word? Meteorological. Is it?
That is a perfect example of how the weather can affect our brains.
Yeah. Before we get started, though.
Too much energy. Dial it back a little bit.
That was it. I've burned out now. Before we get started, I just want to, we all want to acknowledge the custodians of the land, the Wurundjeri people of the Cool Nation. We've this, very weird times now, and it's very important to sort of realise and understand about, where we are and where we're going, and thinking about the land in which we are actually conducting ourselves. Australia is the only country in the Commonwealth that hasn't signed a treaty with their First Nations people. Sovereignty is never ceded. And with the world being the way it is, it's sort of, we're very lucky to be able to do what we do on stolen land. But it's, makes us really think that, so many First Nations people throughout history, and even up until this day, have had their words and stories ignored. And I also just want to acknowledge the Palawa people of Lutruwita, which is the First Nations people of Tasmania, where I unfortunately grew up. Okay.
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm tired.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Yeah, I'm not too impressed with the day.
Yeah.
Yes, this is filmed, recorded on the day that we had a power outage. 10 million people were fucked over by a power outage.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
It was a power outage.
Apparently, yeah. There's conspiracies going up now. That's another data breach or what, I don't know.
Sure.
Don't know who it is. I don't know what's it. If you put Gladys Berejiklian in charge of something, it's going to ultimately fuck up.
Is she in charge now?
She was.
Optus went down. I don't think that was made super clear, but Optus went down today.
And I'm not with. My phone's not with Optus, but the provider uses their towers. And anyway, woke up. I was going to have a very productive day. And then couldn't do anything for most of the day. And
We all wake up thinking we're going to have a very productive day.
Yeah.
But there's also, I just want to throw in that you've heard of SAD, seasonal affective disorder.
No.
So
Yes.
when it's
I felt sad
when
before.
there's no, it's an acronym, but
Yes.
Thank you for that.
seasonal affectiveness disorder. It's like if you don't see the sun, you feel down.
Sure.
It's essentially the simplest version of that analysis.
And I guess like some people are
sunrise.
more sensitive to it than others. I assume is the idea.
Oh no, it's just like I'm happy when it's grey.
Me too.
Other than when I'm just because it means I can put on a hat, boots, and a dark jacket and
And nothing else.
hide away.
100%. The thought that I must be rocking t-shirts, and I very rarely wear shorts. I only wear dark, skinny jeans.
I was thinking
And
about that
so
today, actually. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen Rise pins below the knees.
They're coming out more this summer. Confidence is high. They're
Tune
coming.
in for the summer podcast, everyone.
Yeah.
We're going to have to age restrict this
I'm
bad
gonna
boy.
start-
New
no,
album. Rise legs.
Pins are out.
Pins are out. That's what I tell people. It's like I don't have the pins for it.
Yeah. Well, I actually don't mind. I don't mind my legs, but they're very, very skinny. And so I think just having that growing up, it gets embedded in, called
I think
chicken
I
legs
have
and
it
what
the
have
other
you.
way around.
Oh, let's see.
Yeah.
Well, I think we all are envious of what we don't have.
We've gotten into a whole topic that
Oh, we can get into it.
I used to have a friend who had very skinny legs.
Yeah.
But he had very broad shoulders. So it was literally Dorito.
Yeah, sure.
It was.
that's what you want to be, isn't it?
Yeah, he
Only in the cartoons.
had-
I don't think in reality. I think in reality,
He kind
it looks a bit
of
silly.
nearly resembled like a cartoon character. He's
Yeah.
just
Mr. Incredible.
short, stocky up top, like and stuff,
Yeah.
and his legs are just I don't know how that's possible, but it was.
I mean, obviously, it depends on how you hold yourself. You have. I think that was that when I was younger. And I would wear just like baggier pants because I was I wanted to hide my legs away as much as possible because they were super little skinny little chicken leg things. Though they match my body. Like I'm a fairly lanky dude anyway, so it works fine. But my sister told me like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like you need to accentuate the parts that are your points of character." I think was her point. Not like your best features, but the points that make you look the way you do. Work with those parts.
But yeah, I did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I like I said, I was a little bit larger. I'm obviously like a little bit short and broad. And sorry if I'm not holding the mic close enough.
You're right.
I was just about to put it in.
But you know,
No, I was just about.
but
Just
you,
shove it into my face if you need to. But I would wear baggy pants. I would wear baggy clothes. I wouldn't cut my hair, this, that, and the other. And then I joined a band in my early 20s because I was working in a studio, trying to bring things back to the topic we chose.
yes, beautiful. You're better at
joined-
segues than we are.
I'm still thinking about Rha's legs. So.
I joined a band, and the front man was like, "You're great, this, that, and the other. I just need to basically update your look." And it was sort of
right.
like he tricked me into getting a haircut.
What do you put
Hell,
a treat? Did you put a treat under the box with the stick?
Yeah,
And it was just like there's a trimmer in there. Or something.
No, it was basically we were in a studio because I worked as an apprentice engineer, and I helped out with the recording of the EP, and we recorded, and he was like, "Do you know what? We recorded extra guitar parts. Why don't you join the band?"
Oh, sure.
And so eventually I was invited to come to the first rehearsal as the four of us rather than the three of them. And I got there and I was like, "Where are the other two?" And he was like, "Oh no, I'm going to make some coffees and we're going to sit out on the balcony. And I'm going to cut your hair and give you my haircut." And it was just sort of like,
That's
Wait,
the weird
yeah.
one.
Trying to make you
Same
look
hair-
like him?
well, I had a terrible haircut.
Okay.
And he was like, "You've got to stop wearing these moon boots." I had like chunky like skate shoes.
Yeah.
Two broken
And
ankles all
like
the time.
baggy jeans, and he was like, "No, it's
Yeah.
black skinny jeans." He took me shopping. That was lovely of him,
Okay.
but he changed my look entirely, and I benefited
Yeah.
from it.
I think it's easier in the situation where it makes sense as a uniform. Like, I definitely felt I wanted to experiment more when I was in high school, and I tried a couple of things and got torn to shreds by the other kids, as kids are wont to do. And I tore into other kids as well. Like, we all destroyed each other's self-esteem,
Yeah.
which took years to mend and still in the process. But once...
Would you like to talk about
I
that?
think
or-
you get to about 30, and then you're
yeah.
like, maybe I shouldn't have been such a bad person.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yes,
But it
definitely. When you get to 30, that's how you start thinking. Yes.
I'm 30.
So write it out until you're 30. You can be
Yeah.
a piece of shit until then, and then you go fucking turn
As
it
the clock
around.
ticks over 12.
Yeah.
a.m.
I got 3 more weeks to be a real piece of shit. I'm going to fucking tell you how everything I've been thinking for too long.
But at 12:01,
Yeah, just send all your horrible texts at 11:59
Yeah.
just before, and then go up. Went out with a bang.
But I think actually like being stopping working a lot, so working less in cafes and now working more in the arts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Suddenly wearing things like rings, which is not like this crazy thing, but for me it was to just add a little something. Suddenly be like, well, that I see artists wear crazy shit, so it seems much more mundane to just add a little bit of flair rather than if you're working perhaps a call center or in a cafe or something like that. Or go to school and everyone's wearing a uniform, and then on the weekends you're like, I'm gonna fucking bust out some crazy shit. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing, mate? We wear baggy shorts.
yeah,
That's it.
There was definitely like a uniform part to the band, but it was literally said it was like there was the Hives have a uniform.
Yep.
I want that for us. And so that sort of was the beginning. The band fell apart. He's doing very well as a producer, so I won't sort of shit on that. But it was a real sort of change in my image and the look of things generally.
Did you find that it then helped your general confidence, especially confidence though as a creative?
Yes and no. I sort of went with a bit of a struggle. This is why this topic
Yeah.
of sort of sticking with creativity means something to me because I've struggled with it. And I think there's got to be plenty of other people who do.
Absolutely.
And you put it aside so easily. So it's like being given that opportunity and being given some guidance really means a lot and can shape your future in different ways. It's like currently I am not being that creative. I am trying to hang out with creatives like you two.
Well,
That's us.
please.
That's been
Barely.
and also my partner Izzy,
Yep.
last name redacted. They've been a huge support in that. But really picking it up properly again is tough. That's yeah.
Did you find that, because that seems like quite a forceful push, is the sit down when to cut your hair and also throw you into this band? Though obviously you were trying to be kind of in that scene and part of that thing, but like that seemed like hey, here's this job that I need filled, and there's a look, there's a uniform. We're going to take you and thrust you into it. Do you find that actually quite effective for yourself?
It was
I was just sort of the Spotify listeners, just the dead air, and I was just gonna, I don't know.
Oh yeah, just good to make some noise.
No, it was very. With the two of you, cut it out. No,
I don't think you've watched this podcast before.
We've been told, right, the quiet place.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It was very exciting. It was nerve-wracking because I think part of the issue with this whole thing of even starting an artistic pursuit is anxiety and like nervousness about it. Like, is what I have to offer worthy? Like, that's why nights like these are so important. Is open mics, whether it's music, poetry, rap, whatever, is
It raps that
just-
music, yeah.
Yeah.
it's a different.
It's a thing.
It's a bloody great thing.
Sorry,
right?
I'm a rock and roll guy.
It's a bloody great thing.
Alright.
I was going to say I had something.
Yeah.
I had something.
Yeah.
And then I
And
completely
here we go with it.
forgot. And yes, so I was just,
Seriously, do you have it?
no, let's go with it. So you talk about open mics. So let's go from there. Open mics. Do you think that's a good way? Because there's a few people who've talked on podcasts before. Do you think it's a good way to get, like, I don't know, steamroll your own anxiety out of, like, kind of like the last bit
Like
of
that.
like the last bit of toothpaste in the thing, and you just roll it out, and you just another metaphor. No,
I'm thinking of it as like
say,
like you got a plaster wall and you just got a barrel on through it.
yeah. Well, so
What are you guys doing with your analogies?
Have you got a better analogy?
we're
Have you got a
steamrolling-
better
we're
analogy? Until
steamrolling-
you've got a better analogy, then I'm not interested in
steamrolling
critique.
toothpaste
How
through a
about just
plaster wall.
Try.
Well,
that.
it's a
No,
podcast.
but
Yeah, if you want
so
it
do
to
you-
sound really
I
elaborate,
understand. No,
Do you
I
think
why?
understand.
is toothpaste good for open mics? That's what I was trying to say.
Do not brush your teeth at an open mic.
I fill my shoes with toothpaste before I get on stage, so I get all
I like that
squishy.
squishy feeling.
That way,
yeah.
I can't, because you have that tendency to just kind of dance about, but the
Yeah,
people,
it kind of keeps
people will
you
hear it.
kind of keeps you grounded, literally.
Keeps you grounded. Like the podcast, Grounded with Dilly Dave. Shout out to Dilly Dave.
Yes,
And then
hello,
run
Dilly.
through a plaster wall.
And then you run through a plaster wall.
Is that after you've done your open mic, or before?
That the open mic is the plaster wall. No, your anxiety is the plaster wall. The open mic is the act of barreling through, and you are you the whole time.
Covered in toothpaste.
And you
On a
were-
steamroller.
and it's all about the friends you make along the
Yes.
way. Do you
And
find?
you'll make a bunch of them.
Do you think being covered in toothpaste is a good way to go to an open mic?
I think you'll be stopped at the door.
Not here. You'll be welcome in, sir.
Unless
That
the
is
open mic's
true.
at the
Shout out
dentist's
to Radio
office.
Bar for being so welcoming,
If you
You
or your
are-
loved ones are
we
covered
are-
in toothpaste.
so welcoming.
Okay, I think it's time for to answer the question.
I
do you-
can't
do
even
you-
remember the
Do
question.
Yeah.
you think open mics, whatever form it is a good way to force yourself to get through that anxiety barrier that you or anyone else has set for themselves?
Yes, but I think a big point that I've been thinking about since we discussed the topic that we would have is having people around you to be supportive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really important. And because you can be so easily down on yourself. And that's a real struggle to overcome. And then you have people around you tell you, like, this idea is not stupid. This is funny. This is incredibly poetic. Your song sounds amazing. Like, push through and just try. And if it doesn't work, try again.
How do you think the people encouraging, and this is a genuine question because I have jumped around with this several times in my life about how best to encourage people, because you can say that to someone, no, your stuff's great. I'm not looking at you in particular, Jason, but Jason, your stuff's really good, okay? You're really good. You're a great rapper, you're a great writer. But in your head, you might be thinking, oh, but he's just saying that because he's part of Vibe Union and I do work for him. So, like, he has to say that, you know?
That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah, I think that's how
all the time.
everyone feels. That's how
No,
everyone feels.
It's just people are just polite.
Yeah, exactly. They can't tell me I'm shit. Imagine them telling me I'm shit. That'd be insane.
No, this is my friend. This is my partner.
Exactly.
This is my father, my mother,
Yeah.
my brother. They all
My mum will
want
tell
to
me.
be.
My mum will let me know when something's bad.
She will.
Mad-
we do have. I've had a conversation with a lot of a certain amount of people. I don't know the number exactly, but they're saying like, I don't know how to critique. Like, I wouldn't know the first. I don't know if it's good or bad or not. And they go, well, I liked it. Also, then you thought it was good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's a good poem or whatever. I'm like, well, if you liked it, then isn't that an indicator of
yeah.
it being good, even if
I think I want this comment will maybe stray too far away from the idea of initial encouragement because I want to come back to. I want to stick to that. But on the topic of critiquing friends' work, something that I've been trying to nail home on several episodes of this podcast perhaps, and even and on mine and in blog posts, is when you ask someone for feedback and they're a mate or something like that, give them very particular criteria, I think. Because when when people send stuff to me, say, hey, can you give me some feedback on this track or this song or something like that,
But
I'm
what
like,
do you want?
I don't want to just come in here with a bunch of points and make you feel like you should stop. So, let me know. Are you looking for tips on the mix? Are you looking for tips on the lyrics? Are you looking for tips on the performance of the song? What exactly are you looking for? And I think that also gives, especially for people who don't know music as well, or your craft as well as you, a very clear indication of like, give me these things. Otherwise, I'll just go, I like the vibes, man. I like the vibes. And it's like, that's kind of useless. It's kind of nice to hear from your mates, and you should just be like, mate, fucking good job. But
also, if they're like, that went terribly, you can be like, that's very broad and overwhelming.
yeah.
And I don't know what of all those elements that you mentioned that I've struggled with and what to fix. Nothing's detailed enough. And so it's like with when you're friends with other artists, which is great about nights like this. Oh, sorry to mention the poetry night. It's when people pour their heart out and really put their lyrics out and lines and rhymes. It's like if someone can detail what they think didn't work, that can make a difference. You can work on it. I've passed on. I haven't done that much poetry. I've done a little bit of lyric writing, and some people have seen it like on paper and decided that's ridiculous, and then heard it with a melody, and they're like, oh, now I get it.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
But they can also be like, well, this bit still. It just details matter, and if someone can,
And context matters in that situation as well.
Context matters. But yeah, I really do think getting feedback from fellow artists really makes a difference, and can sort of change, like, rather than just people are like, well, that sucked and end it there.
Yeah.
Proper feedback matters.
Yeah.
We need to work. Like, we can't just stop at I tried, I failed, I'll leave it.
Yeah, of course. A successful, broad brush, but like a successful artist, I think, is the person that just continues making mistakes.
Yes.
Learns from every single thing. If you succeed quite early, I see that especially with like a number of younger producers that I encounter, and I'm talking like between like 15 and like 25 years old. Like not that I know many 15-year-olds, but rather I see them posting their beats online.
You've got
like,
to work with children, so it's
I do have a working with children's license, so but no, rather you'll see people posting beats online and be like, "Oh, I just made an MF Doom type beat, and it sounds exactly like MF Doom." And by the way, I'm fucking 16 years old. Like, how the fuck did you make something that sounds so goddamn good? But because they're sort of succeeding, I don't know if they're learning nearly as much in terms of like their actual creative intuition, rather. I think they know how to copy a thing. They know how to succeed very easily.
Right.
But in terms of their actual, like, how to grow further. It's like when you're in high school or something like that, and they say, what are we learning here? And the teachers go, you're actually learning how to learn. So when you go to uni, then you know how to learn at uni, which is also sort of bullshit. But its own...
That's another tangent.
Its own tangent. Yeah.
No, I think that if I may sidetrack and go to
It's a podcast.
Sort of
It's a
my
sidetrack.
own story.
Please.
It was when I was young, I was really into drawing, and then when I became a depressed tween, New term was not around whilst I was one of those.
What is that age range? Tweens?
About like 10 to 14.
Yeah, something like
Right,
that.
right.
Where I just had my Discman. Remember
Oh,
those?
I remember. My sister had a Discman.
One of those. That was
Where I
sick.
just shut off, stopped talking to people, and just constantly had my headphones on, listen to Blink 182.
Word.
And Bad Religion. Let's throw in some proper bands.
We throwing shade on Blink 182.
182.
I actually can't. I can't name a single one of their songs. What's one of their famous songs?
All the Small Things?
Really?
No.
That's
they're not.
like 1998.
Damn
or
it.
something.
No, nothing.
Adam's song?
Adam's song?
Mm.
No, I don't know.
They got well. A family sued them.
Maybe if
Because of that
if someone
song.
wants to rattle off a chorus, maybe we can. No, let's keep going with the
What's
story.
my age again? You know,
Small Things.
Oh yeah,
Truth,
yeah,
yeah,
100%. I do know that. Yeah. So.
Straight away.
Yeah,
Straight away.
I know those guys. Yeah, they're all right.
Anyway.
Yeah, had the
What
Walkman.
was I saying?
You had
you had Blink
had
I'm
Discman.
sure I had a point.
Blair
Had
in
a dis-
182.
Yeah. So straight into music. Sort of got into drama. I definitely lost my place.
You were drawing at one point.
Yes.
You're a tween. Were.
Twas.
Was. You twas a tween.
I was a tween.
However, a twale of when I twas a tween.
The title
twag
of my autobiography.
Thomas is telling us a twale when he twas a tween. That's the title of the
We
podcast.
need for guests.
I'm
that
terrified about this going out now.
The thing
As
is,
you should.
for guests that aren't used to podcasts as much, we need one of those people that type in courtrooms that can
Stenographers.
read back. You can read
Yeah.
back. What the fuck
Can
was
you just read that back for me, please?
The tiny little keyboards.
I love those little things. It's such a cute little movement.
Well, I'll get you one for your birthday.
Thank you so
alright?
much.
Okay.
It's in 3 weeks. Everyone subscribe to Vibe Union's Patreon for my birthday.
You can only be a dick for 3 more weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot about that. You're turning 30. Anyway,
It's gonna be
another
it's gonna be a good time.
You were
You
a depressed tween. Yeah.
who was
Totally
who was
flipped,
dwarring?
Yeah. All these.
I got to stop talking about that.
Yes.
That's gonna be me for the whole night.
So good.
Anyway, yes.
I think I was talking about all these artistic
Small things,
pursuits, and that being
Stop it.
Sorry.
He's got the
all
vape.
these artistic pursuits that I like dreamed of, and then eventually I sort of settled on music, and decided I would never be a rock star, so I would go into the technical side of it, and I was lucky enough to. I changed schools quite a few times. And ended up at a rather large private school that had its own recording studio.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And which is, I look back and I'm like, I didn't take advantage of that as I should. And
You never know
you're
at the
sort of-
time, really.
You don't know. You're young. You're an idiot.
You're a tween.
Yeah. I was older than that at that point. But
Mature
I ended up sort of, I remember it was Pro Tools 1.
Yeah.
1.
Bloody hell.
They're like 16 now.
Yeah.
And I've paid for several of them. But it was number 1. And it was a MIDI snare. And I had to mix it. And I mixed it. And it sounded like an actual snare to me at the time. And I was like, oh, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. And so I pursued that dream until it got too expensive and too hard because I did so much work for free and art gets hard. And there's so much working for free and trying to
Subscribe to our
figure it
Patreon.
out. And
Buy our books.
buy a book.
Yeah.
Good book, buy a book.
Please. I'd like to eat today.
But yeah, that's sort of what happened to me. Was I got to my sort of mid-20s And I wanted to live life. I wanted to move out and pay rent, and that meant getting a job that paid and do all these things. And it meant sort of leaving all these assisting jobs where I was working for free and learning a whole lot. I mean, there weren't always positive experiences, but I learned so much. And then over time, you just sort of, it's been harsh, and I've even been told to like grieve it, that I've sort of let this go, which is troublesome, and I don't think anyone should have to feel that. When it comes to art, I think it's too important, and too important to the soul.
I think that idea of like, well, also because that is, because it is very much like rooted, tied to, you do have to pay rent. You have to put food on the table. You do have to be able to live your life. But we've talked a lot about this in our blogs and on this podcast, and just kind of the ethos behind what we do is very much, there's no money in what we're doing. There's no money in what we're doing. We think that we create enormous value, what we believe is tangible, actual value, which is smiles on people's faces and people feeling inspired to create art and sense of community and what have you.
You've inspired me. I've only done one poem at Poetry Night, but I do. I really do plan to do Dusty Sessions. I've been nervous about it.
It's happening
because it's been a long time. But I think what you guys do is incredible.
I think that need to create is I guess maybe not for everyone, but for those who do feel the need to create, it sounds very pretentious, but it is absolutely a need. It is absolutely a need. And when you don't have that output, when you don't feel that acceptance in yourself and acceptance by those around you that you're allowed to create without the need for it to be quote unquote successful, I think be pretentious, our souls die.
No, it really comes down to this concept of the soul, I think so.
Yeah.
And I'm not religious by any means or spiritual even, but the
You've got
idea
a fine
of
table then.
the soul just go straight to, artistic pursuits.
Yeah.
And I mean offices, just like corporate offices have been like, we're hiring poets and artists just to make sure people feel, this was before COVID, but like just feel. And
I can't imagine.
just even putting in little gardens in their offices.
Oh wow! I mean, we could.
There's a capitalist societal whole thing. Yeah, we'll say that for another one. I reckon.
Yeah.
Ready for a fight?
Yeah, I'm ready to go off.
What did I do?
He's all oiled up and ready to go.
If we start talking about capitalism, this is it's inherent to all conversations we have. But I would like to kind of then ask, like, because encouraging people to create in general is, I think, a very can be a very difficult thing, because we've been talking about basically anxiety this whole time in some form or another, which we all have. All have extreme imposter syndrome, extreme fear of just being socially ostracized. And also this, especially that fear that what we do creatively needs to mean something grander than just a self-expression, which it doesn't need to. It can simply be self-expression. People glue shells that they find on the seashore to their hats and go, look, I got a seashell hat. And everyone goes, fantastic. But is it going to be in the Louvre? Doesn't need to be. It's a hat. It's got seashells on it. That's a beautiful expression of the soul. Or is it going to be successful? Don't you laugh at me. It's a beautiful analogy. We do great analogies here.
I said nothing.
And if it needs to, there's a feeling that it needs to be successful. It needs to be this grand thing. Or you see the people at the top. You see your Bonos, your Green Days, your Michael Jacksons. These are the three that I've chosen.
I was like, come on, anything from the last 5 years, maybe anyone.
The three stars, the three faces on the side of the artistic Mount Rushmore.
Got to take my hat off for that.
I love
Mount Rushmore with only 3 or 4 faces.
and then Blink 182, obviously.
I think there's the 3 members of Green Day, and then the other members is Bono, and there's Michael Jackson squished together.
And Pitbull was an honorable mention.
Pitbull chiseled it. He's just a.
It's just a very round rock.
So yes, your pillars of strength when it comes to music.
You see these things. You see these people. You see. I just feel like everything kind of gets measured up against the greats, which is not those people. But
Sorry.
just to create is an incessant need for, I think, for I would say most of humanity, but especially us to deem ourselves as creatives.
I think that don't laugh at me.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at my stupidity.
One of them is dead. One of them is dead. I just realised one of them is dead.
Who's dead?
Michael Jackson.
Oh, sure, yeah. When did that happen?
Yeah.
2009.
And we all wish it was Bonner.
I really do.
Sir
Fuck
Bono.
that motherfucker.
Sir Bono.
Sir Bono? Is he a sir?
Yeah.
Sir Bono.
Sir Bono. Yeah, I think he's a sir.
It sounds
I
like
think he got knighted.
it sounds like a nickname for a teacher in primary school.
I will never do anything pro bono.
On that note.
That has to be his either autobiography or his first solo acoustic
Pro
album,
bono.
Pro Bono.
Yeah, when he finally learns how to play a fucking instrument.
All writing
Oh,
meaningful
throwing
songs.
Actually, that's one
Throwing
of
shade.
Excuse me.
I'll throw shade at Bono. Do you want me to stand up and do it?
You're talking ill of one of
15-minute
You're
piece?
talking ill of one of Rise idols, apparently. So he's going to throw hands in a second.
Again, I couldn't name a fucking single U2 song. I don't give a fuck. As soon as I had to have that album installed in my iPod forcibly, I tapped the fuck out.
That's right. That was stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid, and for a band that's kind of anti-establishment and anti-capitalism, and all this
definitely.
shit, or
Yeah.
in quotation marks, and then
No, they love the
force it
environment,
through
but then,
your fucking
yeah, they
throats
force-
with Apple. Go
Yeah.
fuck yourselves.
So open mic.
That's it. I'm calling up the IRA, saying my Apple phone has put Bono on my phone.
This is against my workers'
But
right.
open mics, yeah.
Yeah, open
Let's
mics are
get
good.
back to the point.
And which was? Please.
Fucking no.
Well, actually, no, I had a question.
I'm damn near about to put this mic in my beer.
Don't ruin a good beer.
No, that was what I was thought about. I actually remember this question from
Yeah.
time ago, talking about open mics, because you were saying that Izzy, I'm assuming introduced you to radio talk.
Oh yeah.
No, so
I was
what
so
was
grateful.
But what about, say, someone who wants to go to an open mic that they've never they want to perform whatever, a poem, song, just acoustic, whatever, do a rap or music,
music.
sing a cover of Bono.
Fuck you and your song.
A Bono cover. But what would you like? What would you say to someone who's like, well, I'm going to do this, and then, so the anxiety's there, but you don't have someone there to be like, because I know that when we went to did Red Betty, and I was like, I have my thing, and then you needed. There was a special dongle that you needed to plug something, and I would have been like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
And if
I'm
there
the
was-
dongle king, by the way.
Yeah, the Dongle King. It's his OnlyFans. Ginger Nut and Dongle King.
Subscribe now to see me get my pegs out.
That seems inappropriate.
It is, yes.
We've promoted OnlyFans on here before, and god damn, we'll
But yeah,
promote
so,
it again.
Like I
Where
went,
it will come up at the bottom of the.
yeah. Cool. So
Question.
you
have a
one?
question?
Oh yes. So like, what is your stuff on thought process patterns on? Because you're saying that someone, brings you to a night or something like that, how you talk about anxiety with someone that wants to go perform somewhere on their own without friends or whatever. And my example is that I went to Red Betty. Rye was there, but if it wasn't, I wanted just to do one of my songs. It was on a USB, and they were going, well, we can't plug this in. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, I have no idea how to change this. Whereas Rye was like, I've got this little.
So how to
thing.
overcome anxiety when you don't have that support system?
Yeah,
at these
when you're like,
nights?
okay, I want to try this out, and then you're like, I've been lucky just to have Vibune hold my hand every time I perform. So.
And implies physical touch, which we do not do.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Do you ever respond to that meandering question?
Do you like dongles?
Do I like dongles? I dangle occasionally.
I think there was a question there,
Dangle
wasn't
gang.
there? I did ask a question, didn't I?
I
Okay, cool.
think. I don't know, so the insecurity when there's no one there to support you.
Yeah.
I don't know, to be honest, and it's what's held me back. You think you've kind of got a. There's an element of finding some strength in yourself to like put your hand up and say, I need help. And I have something to say. And sort of banking on a positive community like you've set up that will support you in those moments. I mean, I did the sound and I freaked out. And it was 2 fucking buttons.
It's kind of a weird setup anyway back there.
It was not.
Hey,
It's compared to the things I have played with the 1986 1176. I've taken out. You have no idea the equipment that I have had to sort of fix and make work. And I freaked out about 2 buttons because it's been such a long time. And so it comes back to that hiatus issue. And so it can really play with your head. And it's not even that. It's like I want to get into the artistic element of it because that's why I picked it up in the first place. I didn't want to be an electrician or anything like that. I just wanted to make things work so that I can make better sounds. Make better music and make relationships where I could get the best out of people. That's what recording was, and like studio recording was. Even just a friend's birthday party where it was like, I want to have a band on. Okay, I will talk to a local company, pick out everything we need, set it all up, and then panic for a night. And that's what I did. And yeah, I think trying to keep getting back to it. It's like, just keep trying. Just keep trying again. And if anyone can push and like keep pushing each other, we're a community. I think it doesn't matter what field you're in. We're all artists, aren't we? And we need to just keep bullying each other. And it is bullying. Every now and then it's just like, you're just being a twat.
Just fucking
Shut
do the
up
thing.
and do it.
Uh-huh.
And I say that as someone who's very good at being like, leave me alone.
Just shut up and fucking do it.
Just leave me alone.
I do think that we all need to remember that we are all dreadfully anxious. We all have imposter syndrome almost constantly. And the absolute first step into both to get yourself back into it or get yourself into it the first time being creative any capacity is just by you have to be around people.
I think the first time thing is a big point.
Doing it by yourself is starting out as a fucking not impossible. But that also, I think, goes for when you want to encourage your mates to do other stuff. If you can see that there's a flicker of creativity there, throw them into the community of creatives. Otherwise, they'll just go and continue to hang out with their office mates or gaming friends or what have you, which,
Gaining friends. Just drag them kicking and screaming into the creative community.
Exactly.
Just cover them in toothpaste.
We need more.
We
We need more people in the creative community.
We need more Call of Duty players to come spread their message of hope and love.
Their gamer talk, yeah.
Yeah.
The message of hope and AK-47s.
Just real quick, I'm so pissed off. I don't play Modern War. I don't play Call of Duty or any of those games, but I am so fucking pissed off that there is 2 Modern Warfare 3s and 2 Modern Warfare 2s. There is Modern Warfare 3 from 2011, and now there is Modern Warfare 3 from 2023. And that's stupid and drives me insane. And on that note, we do need to wrap it up, because I got to get myself a hot dog before we fucking do poetry tonight. All right? So, for Rye's birthday, subscribe to our Patreon, please.
Buy him a hot dog.
Buy me a hot dog if you see me.
Would you like to say anything about anything in particular?
Do you have is that a lead, or is there anything I should?
I was just wondering.
I do have my album launch on November. Is that what you're talking about?
Yep.
On November 23rd is my album launch.
You need to be, I just need to encourage you to do this.
Last time I did it, you fucking jumped down my
I
fucking
need to
throat
keep you guessing. I love bomb you, and then I gaslight you. So
my goodness. Is this love? This is not what love's supposed to feel
love's
like.
not real, so.
Break it up.
Anyway, the music by Sixpence, Rye, 23rd, Retreat Hotel.
Links are on vibeunion.com.au.
Thank you, Thomas, for coming.
Our book.
I hope you had fun.
I did.
That's
Thank
good.
you so much for having me. It was nerve-wracking, but I think I got through it.
We'll have you again if you'll be here again.
Yes.
Oh, we'll be here
You can
times.
You can host.
I can host?
We're clearly not good at
I'm
it.
going to wear a suit if I host.
That would be great. It is a visual medium.
Like, subscribe, and comment if you want to see Thomas wear a suit.
Or my pegs out.
And give us suggestions for rice hot dogs.